I'm going to read you one of my favourite Christmas stories from when I was little. This story is called Threadbare by Mick Inkpen. Ben's bear was called Threadbare. He was old. Bits of him had worn out or worked loose or dropped off. He had a paw which didn't match and a button for an eye. When he looked through the button, he saw 4 pictures instead of 1. It was like looking through a television shop window. But there was one thing that he had always been wrong with Threadbare. The silly man who made him had put too much stuffing inside him. His arms were too hard. His legs were too hard. His tummy was too hard, so hard that his squeak had been squashed. It had never squeaked. Not even once. Threadbare hated having a squeaker in his tummy that wouldn't squeak. It made him feel like he was letting Ben down. Ben's frog could croak, his space monster could squelch, and his electronic robot could burble away for hours if its batteries were the right way round. Even the little toy that Ben had called Grey Thing could make a noise, and nobody knew what Grey Thing was meant to be. Nobody could make Threadbare's squeaker work. Ben's dad couldn't do it, his mum couldn't do it, nor could his auntie or his grandpa, nor could any of his friends. When Ben had the measles, he asked the doctor about Threadbare's squeaker. The doctor listened to Threadbare's tummy, but there was no squeak, not even the faintest sign of one. The other toys tried to help. If you had a winder like me, we could wind you up, said the frog. If you are made of rubber like me, we could squelch you, said the space monster. If you had batteries like me, we could turn you on, said the robot. It was not much help. Why don't you ask Father Christmas, said Grey Thing. He knows all about toys. This was a brilliant idea, and Grey Thing went a little pink. But where does Father Christmas live? Asked Threadbare. At a place called the North Pole, said Grey Thing. You can get to it up the chimney, I think. There he is going up the chimney. Threadbare had never climbed up a chimney before. It was hard work, and he fell back down. But he didn't give up. It was long after bedtime when Threadbare poked his head out of the chimney pot. This must be the North Pole. Threadbare sat down to wait for Father Christmas. He waited and waited, but Father Christmas didn't seem to be coming. The moon rose into the sky and Threadbare began to doze. Suddenly, Father Christmas was there, helping Threadbare into his sleigh. They flew over the top of the world and onto the land where the squeaker trees grow. Threadbare could hear the squeaker trees as they came to land. You must eat the biggest squeaker fruit, said Father Christmas. It tasted delicious, but it made Threadbare feel sleepy. Threadbare felt himself falling and falling. Bump! Threadbare woke up. He rubbed his eyes and looked around. There was no squeaker fruit, no squeaker tree, and worst of all, no Father Christmas. I must have fallen asleep and dropped off the North Pole, said Threadbare. In the morning, Ben was surprised to find Threadbare in the garden covered with soot. Ben's mum put Threadbare straight into the washing machine. She did not even look at the label on Threadbare's neck, which read in capital letters, "Do not wash." When Threadbare came out of the washing machine, the soot was gone, but there was a curious purple stain on his chin, which nobody could explain. Threadbare was feeling too giddy to notice. His head felt like a spinning top. mind feeling giddy, thought Threadbare, as he hung onto the line. I don't mind having a button for an eye and a paw that doesn't match. I don't even mind being hung up on the washing line by my ear. But what I do mind very much, is having a silly squeaker in my tummy that won't squeak. Threadbare was so cross that he frightened a robin. It flew away, leaving him alone in the garden, bouncing angrily little bounces on the washing line. The sun rose slowly over the garden. It shone straight down on Threadbare. It was a great warm sunshine like an enormous hug. Threadbare began to steam. He began to feel better. The more he steamed, the more he felt better. He swung his legs backwards and forwards, then kicked them out high in the air. Soon he was swinging around and around the washing line, giggling to himself. Why do I feel so happy? He wondered. It was at this moment that Threadbare realised a very odd thing had happened to him. His paws no longer felt different, so his arms and legs, they were no longer hard. And inside his tummy was a wonderful, loose and comfortable feeling that he had never felt before. At the very same moment, something caught Threadbare's eye. Something red was racing across the sun. And to Threadbare's surprise, the red something was waving goodbye. When Ben came to see if Threadbare was dry, he noticed his little brown bear had changed. Look, Mum, said Ben, he's gone floppy. Ben's mum unpegged him. Oh dear, she said, his stuffing must have shrunk in the wash. Ben looked at Threadbare. I like him like that. It makes him look. But Ben could not think of the right word, so instead he gave Threadbare a squeeze. And for the first time, the squeaker in Threadbare's tummy gave the loudest, clearest, squeakiest squeak.